spent my first 15 years trying to get out of the woods because I thought it was horrible. And I spent the next 20 years trying to get back. The truth of the matter is we need to be well-rounded individuals like our forefathers were.
All right. What is up, all you fine people out there in YouTube and Facebook land? Of course, it's another Mountain Readiness Monday right here, T. Let's see what we got in the house here. We got the Eden Army. We got Guy. We got Mr. Pete Robert Tucci. Will, thanks for sending me that clip too, bro. Which I was just talking to you about, Joe. So, of course, over here to the left of me, the survivalist expert of all experts and CEO of Spartan Americana, Mr. Joe Tenai. I didn't have a real cheesy joke this time. It was pretty, you know, it was pretty mellow. Didn't get too deep into it. Guys, remember, like, share, subscribe, ring bells, send it out, all the stuff. Appease the algorithm gods, make them happy so we can spread the word, spread all this knowledge on everyone. Sandra Davis, man, we got there's my wife, Amber Toombs. That's not too often that my wife tunes into these things. She's like, I'm so tired of hearing your big mouth. I don't want to watch you on a live stream. So, and there's Christy. Of course, Christy is always on board with us. Hi, Christy. Great seeing you. Deanna Rogers, Jana Carson. Man, we got Mr. Matt King, all the peoples. We got tons of people in the house tonight. So, Joe, well, before we jump into this too deep, two things. Number one, Survival Gear BSO. We have our affiliate ship set up with them guys. So when you hit Survival Gear up BSO through our affiliate link, you are getting 15% off right then and there. So that's awesome right there, guys. Not only is it great discounts, and we get a little something out of it, but you also get 15% off on top of that. And there's my wife saying you're full of crap. No, I'm not. You tell me to shut up all the time, babe. It's like a usual thing. Usually, though, it's like you. I'm going to tell this story, Joe, and then I want to hear some stuff from you. But so a couple years ago, now Amber has problems with mouth noises. Like if you chew, with your mouth open. She actually broke somebody's nose one time for chewing with their mouth open, and I get it, mouth noises, but our dogs lay around the house licking their balls and just making all kinds of atrocious, horrible noises. You know what I'm talking about, Joe, right? Dogs licking and eating, they're just slurping all the time. All these noises. Amber does nothing. Like it doesn't exist. One day she come home. She just got back from Indiana, long trip. She crashes out on the couch, goes to sleep, and I'm sitting there watching Rambo: First Blood on television. Machine guns going off, bombs, explosion. You know how loud Rambo is. And so I walk into the kitchen, and this was when I was still eating Doritos. I have a huge problem with chips, man. I can't eat a couple of chips. I eat an entire bag. I haven't had a single chip in 2 months. That's why I've actually lost weight. But so I get a bag of Doritos. I bring it over to the couch. I open the bag. It's crunching. The dogs are on the floor making mouth noises, explosions on the television. And I pull one Dorito out As soon as this thing hits my mouth, I kid you not, the first crunch, she jumps up out of the dead of sleep. She's like, "Are you serious? This is why I can't get a damn nap," and takes off to the bedroom and goes to bed. All these explosions, dogs chewing, licking their buttholes, one Dorito. It was the end of the world. So I don't know. I don't get it, man. I don't get it. But where were we at? So, guys, we're coming up this weekend. Spartan Americana this coming weekend. I'll be there. I'm signed up. Can we talk about some of the stuff that is going to go on at this, Joe?
Yeah, if you want to. It's a 3-day course. It's the guys are arriving. Well, Bob's arriving a day early, but the course is a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Lodging and meals provided. And basically what it is, it's not a physical course. So, everybody's like, I don't want to go. I don't want this boot camp thing. It's not a boot camp thing. You really don't learn anything from those kind of courses. I know a lot of guys, run them, but this is a learning course. I'm going to give you options on a lot of different things. And we're going to talk about, home security, hotel security, how to do land navigation without a GPS, old-fashioned way with a compass and a protractor, how to read a map, how to get out of flex cuffs, tape, hostage survival. There's about 20 different subject matters, the fundamentals of combat marksmanship. The last day, 2 days are going to be at Camp Barnhart, and then the last day we're going to a good friend of mine's 13,000 square foot indoor shoot house where we use really, really high-end airsoft guns, like really high-end. They cycle just like real guns. The slides lock just like real guns. Even the pistols we use are Glock 17s. They even have a recoil almost like a 22. So we'll be spending all day there doing one-man CQB, two-man CQB, and some other things that, I'll share with these guys. But it's just to give the attendees options and tools to put in their tactical toolbox to
Absolutely.
themselves and their family in case of a worst case scenario, period.
Yeah. And we still have a couple spots left. Yes. Is there any spots left or are we booked?
I think we have, hold on a second. I think we have two. I think we have 2 spots left.
2 spots left, y'all.
Yeah. Yeah, we have
And
a
that's
small class,
there in,
only 10 people.
10 people. And there's and that's at the Camp Barnhart, which was where we were going to do the event. So you can still check it out if you want to jump in on this. These couple spots left, you can get a little bit of that experience. And the 13,000 square foot shoot house, that's what I'm looking forward to, man. That's like clearing an office complex.
Yeah, the way Frank laid it out too is really, really smart. Multiple rooms, long hallways, T intersections. He actually has one part of the building set up like a single wide trailer, which is really cool.
Nice.
Like for yeah. He did a fantastic job setting this thing up. I could not have done a better job myself, to be honest with you.
No, I'm looking forward to it. This is going to be, it's going to be, I'm sure, a tiring 3 days, but well worth the investment by far. So that's happening. And of course, Mountain Readiness Fallout, guys, is live. Get your tickets, get your camping. And to reiterate, if you are tent camping, you don't have to pick a spot. The spots that are on that map are RV only. So if you want an RV spot, you click on it, you put your information in, then you call the campground owner and you pay. If you want a tent camp, then you just call him and tell him you're tent camping. You don't have to pick a spot because it's first come, first serve, and it's 100 acres. You can find a spot to drop a tent by far. Also, we haven't decided exactly what we're going to be that Joe's going to be teaching, but Joe is going to be there at Fallout as well doing a class. So, and Mr. Pete Robertucci will be doing a class as well. This will be the first time that Pete does a class at Mountain Readiness. I told him it was time to get out from behind his table get out from behind that table and quit hiding behind all those book sales and come out there and teach a little something. So we're super excited to have Pete. We appreciate you, Pete. I'm just messing with you. So, man, Joe, you sent me a few things. Tell me about the video that you sent me earlier. That was in the DC protest, was it not?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I don't know if the rest of y'all saw that. It just showed a bunch of protesters, writing Hamas all over statues and government property. I mean, bad, not just once. I mean, just completely spray paint these things, ridiculous. Protesting, and of course, some of these people got arrested, but magically, all the charges were dropped.
Right.
And Bob, I don't know if there's any way to share that link somehow with these guys. You've got to see it. It'll make you want to vomit. Like, it's really, really bad. And how somebody can get away with defacing, writing just graffiti, let alone Hamas and all this other stuff, and letting them go is just mind-boggling. Like, who did that?
Yeah.
Who came up with it's okay? Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, it sounds like some of that straight up Antifa stuff from back when they were burning cities to the ground, and all of a sudden they get bailed right out and they walk, and now we got charges just being dropped. They're defacing property, federal property. They're spray painting all over stuff, and then somehow they just walk. Amazing.
Yep, they did.
Amazing.
All the charges were dropped. All the charges were dropped.
You don't know what's going on in the world. It's like every end of the earth is in mass chaos. And I've got this one from Will. Will just sent this to me.
Israel's getting ugly.
Guess.
Israel's starting to get ugly again.
Yep. We have Israel going off the deep end. And it'll be interesting to see what happens with a lot of these conflicts in other countries when the elections actually happen. I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't know how the election is going to end good for America either way. It's going to be the best of the worst, I think is what's going to happen. Not anything against Trump. I like Trump, but everything is just so bad at this point. I don't know if Trump or anyone like him could salvage it at this point, to be completely honest. I mean, it's, the economy, I don't know how we're still holding on. And I really think that if Trump gets in, they're going to let this economy just nosedive, and then that will be blamed on him. He'll be the fault. He'll be the scapegoat for that scenario. If he does make it in, if he doesn't make it in, get ready, because we're going to have some more of those burning the cities to the ground. And that little protest in D.C. will look like child's play compared to what we'll be facing come 2025. I see here also that the one that Will sent me in Philadelphia, we had, it looks like a pretty large march, and looks like probably a bunch of Kamala supporters, but they all are sitting here with flying the sickle and hammer socialist flags, and saying it's fighting the rich to feed the poor. Now, guys, I'm all about poor people being able to eat, but if I'm not mistaken, communism didn't work in any of these other countries. Why do we think it's going to work here? And this is right. I didn't even see this. This was just sent to me by Will just a few minutes ago. So, wow. East and West Germany, that, we see what happened on both sides of that. But that's the mindset now. Everybody thinks that they deserve something for free. Everybody thinks that they deserve something for free. Everything is free healthcare, free college, free this. Bernie Sanders, that's why all the younger generation, I actually had conversations with some of these young, and when I say younger, I'm saying 18 to 25 adults. They're like, oh yeah, vote for Bernie. We get free college. And no one understands you have a pie and there's only so much pie available, right? but that's the world. That's the world that we are living in now. Everybody wants something for free, and there's no such thing. It just means that you and we get to foot the bill for that shit. Let's see what's Will got going on here. See, anyone ever noticed that conservatives are never bailed out? There ain't no doubt about that. I promise you, if I
has everybody seen Kamala Harris? Yep. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Go ahead,
Bob.
Yeah.
Okay. Has everybody seen the commercial that Kamala Harris put out? And it talks about like what she's done in her tenure as vice president. And one of the things in this 30-second commercial is that she dropped the price of insulin to 35. Like, really?
And that's a ball.
That's what we're going to put out. I mean, good Lord. That's what you've done in 4 years in vice president is you lowered insulin. I couldn't believe it. I could not believe that was what they put out there. That just speaks volumes.
I can't believe that they could make a commercial last 30 seconds with her accomplishments. That's what I'm saying. How did they get 30 seconds even in there? But no,
they talk about her prior work.
Yeah. Well, prior she was too busy slutting herself out. I mean, that's really what she was doing, sleeping her way to the top of the food chain there. And Pete, you are correct, and I know this for a fact. So Trump is the one that lowered the insulin prices, and then when our fearless leader come into play, he actually jacked them back up. And I know this to be a fact. My mother-in-law is on insulin, and she was so happy that she could afford insulin at a reasonable cost when Trump did this. Now, of course, it's shot clear back up, back to the hundreds and hundreds of dollars that she has to spend every month on insulin since the Biden administration has come in. So I don't even know where they got that. I don't know who's getting that discount, but it's not the average middle-class working person. I know that.
Yeah, it was staggering, man. It was staggering. But anyway, it's one thing I will tell you though, just going completely off another subject before we talk about something else, is that I talked to a guy from my old work 2 days ago, and my old work when I was in Ground Branch with the agency, and obviously the conversation was, it didn't go into detail, but if Trump gets back into office, they are going to call out all-out war on the Mexican drug cartel. You're going to start seeing those people disappear very quickly. They're just waiting for the green light. They're literally like, go, and you can start kissing those people goodbye. Because the Mexican drug cartel is worse, in my opinion, almost more than Al Qaeda. They're terrorists, and they're selling drugs and wiping out our kids and fentanyl and all that shit. So if he gets in, you're going to start seeing all of these major drug dealers getting dunced left and right. It's going to be awesome. I mean, I wish I was back in, because it's going to be a really good hunt. A really good hunt.
Now, the upside is they don't even have to travel that far, because most of them's already here. Yeah. They just walked right across the border here in the good old US of A.
Yeah, and we could launch, dude, what they would do, and again, I don't want to armchair quarterback, but like they would launch out of probably Texas, just bloop, hit, run, like just back and forth, jumping back and forth and into Mexico and wherever down south. But yeah, you could start. Those people are going to start disappearing for sure. And Trump loves that stuff. Like he took out a lot of ISIS leaders. He is all about getting rid of these people, and good on him. You've got the assets, and that is a textbook mission for Ground Branch. That is a covert action mission, targeted assassinations of scumbags like that. That's right. Yeah. That's exactly what they do. That's what they do. That's their sole purpose is to do those kind of missions. I was there for 9 years, and these people are going to, a lot of them are going to wake up dead. which is
Yeah.
good.
Well, I hope so. I hope so. Not that they're bringing this poison in, and the fentanyl stuff, man, is just insane now. The fentanyl stuff is insane. That is just straight poison. Even in the little towns here, we've got a lot of that stuff going on. People dying, kicking off left and right from, I mean, you see these videos of LEO, like you literally touch this stuff and I mean, hit the ground.
Yeah.
It's nasty stuff. Go ahead, man.
Our police, I just talked to a guy yesterday. Our police here are now being issued, I cannot remember the name of the drug. If anybody knows what it is, it's some kind of like EpiPen that if you touch some fentanyl, you give yourself a shot. They all just got issued here in where I live in this tiny little town. What is it called? I don't know, but if somebody knows, let us know what it is. But anyway,
Narcan.
That's
Narcan.
it. Narcan.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. Yeah.
Actually, even in our little town, everybody, actually most of the LEO now have two Narcans. One is for if you're going to get somebody, and then the other is if they want a backup for yourself because they have to use it. You may have to use it either way, but now and they've been issuing that for quite a bit, especially in your bigger cities, Statesville, Charlotte, all those places. They've been carrying Narcan for 5-6 years that I know of. I'm sure even longer than that. And go figure, the stuff is ridiculously expensive. I think one of those injections is like $300 to $500 or something. It's insane. Yeah. Well, anything of the medical industry, they're going to mark it up as high as they possibly can. So
Trump, if you guys watch the Republican convention, Trump put these guys on notice. He basically said to the Mexican drug cartel, like, we're coming after you. I mean, I mean, straight up.
Andrew said cartel's been using IEDs now, and they caught some Palestinian terrorists crossing the border. Man, I guarantee you there's a bunch of terrorists that's come across the border from all ends of the earth.
Oh, yeah. Given.
2 million that floated across, and that's just, I don't know how accurate that number is. It's probably a little bit low, to say the least. So let's see, fentanyl deaths at 400,000, and that may be a little light, Will. I wouldn't be surprised if that was a little light. That stuff is everywhere. Statesville, which has one of the best interdiction teams in North Carolina, Iredell County, they some of the busts that they do on I-70, like millions of dollars worth of that crap.
Yeah.
Just nuts. Let's see here.
They got it coming though. Stand by.
Oh yeah. No, we need it. Hopefully we get that border wall coming back along. That's what I'm shooting for. Yeah. Some cities have Narcan vending machines. No shit.
You gotta be kidding.
The discounted rate in the vending machines, Andrew. I've actually never heard of that. So I wouldn't be surprised though. Some of these cities, they need it. So
that's staggering.
I think you've seen did you send me that video, Joe, or did somebody else of the black lady in her kitchen that was in there cooking? And I don't know. I think it sounded like she threatened kind of to throw the hot water on the police officer, and nothing against police officer, but this was pretty messed up. She threatened him, and then he said, "I'll shoot you in the head." And she turns around and holds her hands up. She's got she's got a pot holder in each hand, and boom, he shoots her right between the eyes, right there on his camera. That's another thing that's went crazy. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a whole bunch of riots and stuff spark off of that.
Bob, where was that at?
You didn't see that thing?
No, where was that at?
It's all over social media, Instagram. I mean, there's
what state was it in? Was it in North Carolina?
Let me look. Let me see if I can pull it up. Anybody out there in live chat land know where that actually happened? If you do, shoot it up on there.
Yeah, I'll Google it when we're done. Oh yeah, that's
but
gonna
that
be a
was
fun one.
yeah, killed her in cold blood, and looks like the police officer is facing charges. Where was that at, guys? Because I was just scrolling through a few of these things. I saw that one there. I saw just this evening, and it was pretty rough to say the least. That comes back though to training and
Yeah.
the. I hate to say it, but the caliber of police officers that we are getting, there's the link right there, the YouTube link, Joe.
Okay.
I wonder if we can pull this up, if it'll let me. Let me see. I don't know how to do it. Don't know how to do it. I'm not that gifted with
We're
the
not
stuff.
that technical. I ain't either, bro. So it's all good.
Yeah. Let's see. Fire Service Organization posted an article about, let's see, he's saying, so Fire Organization posted an article about the vending machines on Facebook. So share the article on Facebook, took the article down due to it being against their community standards. Yeah, I'm going to have to check in on that myself, because that stuff is ridiculously expensive. Deanna Rogers says Springfield, Illinois is where that shooting took place. So yeah, man.
Okay.
I'll try to find that link and shoot it over to you, Joe. It was wild.
I'd like to watch.
But yeah, I've been just today. I haven't had a lot of time to prepare anything. It's been ridiculously busy, but I can tell you that the world is just in meltdown. It appears at this point. I did, however, find a decent deal. We were talking about those storage buckets here a couple times ago on the live stream, and we just found some. Or actually, Amber found some that will hold. Now, these are supposed to be for pets off of Chewy. You've heard of that Chewy.com?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay. They have these deals where you can get 50% off. For $35, it's got the same gamma lid, screw-on lid, and it will hold a 55-pound bag.
Oh, wow.
Of food. And they sell it for dog food and stuff like that, but it's BPA, no BPAs, all the bad stuff in the plastic doesn't exist. And to be able to hold a 55-pound bag of dog food and still have room, man,
Right.
and they're stackable. They're stackable. They all interlock and hook together. I don't know. Amber, you bring one of those by chance? Let's see if Amber will bring me one in so I don't have to. I meant to grab one, but let's see. Any comment, opening ceremony?
Oh, Jesus.
Jeez. Guys.
Did we have to go there? I was like, let's not. Oh,
hey,
man.
We said whatever y'all want to talk about tonight, because of my unpreparedness. For being a preparedness guy, I sure was unprepared tonight. But there's so much going on that we can talk about. But yeah, look here, guys. I have heard all kinds of stuff. I watched parts of that opening. I didn't actually watch it live. I probably should have. I didn't expect the ridiculousness to be going on. But let me go here. This is some of the stuff I've been seeing on there. It says organizers of the 2024 Paris Olympic Games apologize to anyone who was offended by the taboo that invoked Leonardo da Vinci's The Last Supper during the glamorous opening ceremony. The thing that they're doing here is they're saying that it was
something Greek.
It was to celebrate diversity and pay tribute to feasting and French gastronomy. Now, I agree that they were going towards that with Greek history, but there was no way. I don't care what anyone says, that you can't say they were not doing a spoof to the Last Supper. You literally had a person in the center, angelic looking light behind them, and 12 people total. It wasn't coincidence. They were blending, and they actually Thomas Jolly, who was the artistic director for all of this, even said he apologized, but he said they were trying to portray all this all collaborated together. so they admitted that they were using the Last Supper as part of this. And personally, and here's another statement by Jolly. He said, the Last Supper was not my inspiration. There is Dionysus who arrived on this table. He is there because he is the god of celebration in Greek mythology. The idea was to have a pagan celebration connected to the gods of Olympus. You know, I mean, I get everybody's got to, I'm not trying to push. Yeah.
Bullshit.
It was blatant is what it was. They mixed it all together. They blended it all up so that they could go with, we're just trying to portray Greek mythology here. It really wasn't anything to do with the Last Supper. When really, I mean, it was a blatant smack to the face.
The second I saw it, I'm like, that's the Last Supper interpretation.
Yeah.
I mean, it literally a second, and I'm like, what the? I couldn't believe it. I really was. And look, dude, I'm not like the most Christian man in the world. I believe, I'm a Christian man, but I was offended. Like that was very offensive. And you know what? Let me just say this: if you're the billions of people are watching the Olympics, why would you even come even close to something like that? Like, you couldn't. Right. That guy couldn't go. Man, that's kind of close to the Last Supper. I don't know if this is a good idea. Didn't do it. Didn't even go through his brain pan. They put it out there, and I'm calling bullshit flag on that, dude. That's some asshole. Excuse my French, trying to make a political statement that needs the shit smacked out of him. Literally, that guy needs a severe ass beating.
Well, yeah.
Sorry,
it's
guys.
Become blatant now.
That's really upsetting to me. Yeah.
No, I agree. It's become blatant now. The whole thing. These elitists, these percentile of this small percentile of people that run this world, and we're not talking about Biden and all that bumbling idiot buffoon. He can't even find his ass with both hands. Has nothing. Now he's stepping down. Blah blah blah. This is just script. He's just reading a script. That's it. He's doing exactly what he's told to do, just like the rest of these world leaders. I seen the top execs of BlackRock last week or the week before were in the Ukraine meeting with Galinsky, that weird little freak fairy nut job that's over there. And you know what that's about? I mean, they were meeting him, that he had to say hi to his new bosses because they own everything, and it's just blatant. The whole thing's blatant. The Olympics was blatant. It's people. These people just basically big middle finger to everyone because they can, because it's gotten to that point now.
Did y'all see that? And my numbers may be wrong. I can Google it, but the VA, our Veterans Administration, is in the hole, something to the tune of about $13 billion. But yet we're sending all of this money, triple that amount of money to the Ukraine, but we're not going to bail out our own Veterans Administration. Like, if anybody out there can explain that to me, I want to hear it right now. Right now, tell me if there's any logic in that. That's complete bullshit too. $13 billion in the hole, or $14 billion, something like that. But yet they're sending all this money over. You can't even fund, bail out our own Veterans Administration. That's disgusting. Disgusting.
Well, and it's, and everybody knows, my wife Amber was a veteran, and she deals with the VA all the time. It's insane. She'll call and she'll be on the phone. She was on the phone with them for 6 hours today, off and on for 6 hours, trying to get like minute shit taken care of. But yeah, we're going to print up 400 billion, ship it over Ukraine, print up another 100 billion. I mean, we have sent so much. I would like to know, and I know the answer, but just for the sake of conversation, I would like to know, when has it ever been acceptable to help everyone else out before you clean your own doorstep up. That's what it comes down to.
It staggers me. I mean, a 10-year-old could probably figure out, hey, should we do this in our own country or send money to another country that would like a child could probably figure that out. And that is like the most blatant misappropriation of money I think I've ever seen in my life. Now that I found out that the VA is in such bad financial shape right now, it's, man, it makes my blood boil, man. It really does.
I agree. He was just saying that no, they're bumping vets to treat illegals, and that's exactly right.
Too. Yeah, they're doing that too.
Got 2 million people come across the border, probably more. They're handing out driver's license, free health care, checks. I mean, they're covering everything, and our veterans can't get the help that they need to. I don't know.
It's disgusting.
It seems like we're just really, really on the downhill spiral here. And I'm not sure that no matter the outcome of this election, I don't think it is. I don't think it's gonna make much of a difference. I think they've already got everything set up to do exactly what they need it to do.
And Bob, when you and I were talking the other day, what you said was very profound, and I never even thought about that. But just what you were saying is like, even if Trump gets in, these people are still in charge in one way or another. And if they can't get rid of Trump, which they've tried and tried and tried, they're just going to make it. This could be an agenda, make him look like the worst president ever by tanking everything, like you were explaining to me how it could happen. Yeah. And I was like, wow, I never thought of that. But you're absolutely right. 100% right. And everybody thinks, well, Trump's getting in, everything's gonna be better. Well, yeah, maybe. Unless these people go, okay, this is the final straw. This is what we're gonna do. Boom.
Yeah. Yeah. That's,
and he can't do anything about it.
Will said, no. And he said, haven't been seen for the VA in over a year because they're booking 4 months out right now. Not surprised at all. Not surprised at all.
4 months. That's bullshit.
I will tell you that I saw too a couple weeks ago. You ain't lying, Matt King. Yeah. If you make 80 grand right now, you're paying your bills. That's about it. Like that's what it comes down to. And I have no idea how on less than that, you're scraping. You're scraping. With the price of what we've got, the inflation and all this kind of stuff that's going on in the world, I don't even know how people are making it. Especially people with children. Like you remember back in my 4 kids, like it was a gallon of milk a day, bare minimum. Like that, They had a bowl of cereal and a glass of milk. Boom, there's a gallon of milk gone. Yeah, man, it's bad. It's bad. But I really think that, and look, they did it with the COVID, with Trump. That was his fault. That was 100% his fault. All these people died because of him. It was his fault. And I think they're going to do the same thing if he gets in with our economy. I think they're going to blast him with, oh, look, we're in this huge depression now because of Trump. It has nothing to do with the Biden administration and the higher powers that be, printing billions of dollars worth of money that doesn't even exist out of thin air. Just trashing the economy out to what it is. Let's see. Did you hear latest on Biden's wanting to change Supreme Court rules? I did not. Did you hear about this too? I know he was trying to do some stuff of that.
What kind of rules?
Yeah, what rules? Deanna, let us know. I know Biden's been trying to load the courts and add more judges and all kinds of craziness to sway everything towards his. He's been doing that crap for quite a while now. Who knows? Let's see here. 4 months. Dang. Deanna says also, she says that it's a year. Where are you at, Deanna? That it's a year out to be seen by the VA. That's nuts. Good grief.
Wow. You see what I mean? That's just absolutely unacceptable. And you want to know why there's so many veterans killing themselves? Because they can't get their freaking meds. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, that's just so wrong, man. I can't believe it.
Well, you know, think about, let's see, Deanna said she's in Tucson, Arizona. So I guess Arizona has went down the shitter for VA. I actually saw, I can't remember where I read it. It was about 2 or 3 weeks ago. And they were saying that in 2025, they're going to be revamping the requirements from the VA for your disability through the VA. So they're going to revamp it. Now, note that the VA told my wife that when she took an IED to her leg in a vehicle in Afghanistan, that was not service related, is what they told her. You know, yeah, that she received the Purple Heart for. All right, received the Purple Heart from an IED that blew up through the floor that trashed her right leg, and the VA rated that as not service related. And in 2025, in 2025, they plan on revamping, making it more stringent, harder to receive those benefits than what we already have. But you can come across the border illegally and you can get everything that you freaking need. What the hell?
Wow. I don't know how that's not a service-related injury. If there ever was one, that's exactly what it is. I mean, and she was in combat.
I mean,
she wasn't even in training.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if they hand you a Purple Heart, it means you was wounded in combat. Isn't that what the fuck that is? You know, it's obvious. But no, that's where that there is just a small tidbit of where we've gotten in this world. You can literally walk across the border, get all these benefits, but this is how the government treats our combat veterans. Sickening.
Yeah.
Sickening to say the least. Yeah, set term limits, load the courts, and kick out. He's been, if I'm not mistaken, Deanna, they've been trying to do this for a couple years now. Yeah, it's been back and forth.
Yep.
And depending, eventually it will happen anyway.
Right.
I'm sure of it. Let's see here, Sandra. I tell everyone, learn your herbs for meds. I agree, Sandra. This is where we're getting. Here's something, with VA benefits and using the VA for healthcare. I mean, this is what we all have to look forward to, even us civilians, when the time comes that we have nationalized healthcare, because that's what we're heading towards. I mean, eventually, I really believe that we will see nationalized healthcare here in the United States. It'll be just like Canada. It'll be like these other third world countries. Everybody's sitting there dying in the waiting room trying to get seen. I think that's where we're heading as well. Then they can really regulate you when you get to that nationalized healthcare. You can't pick your plan. You can't pick who you're using. They decide for you, and then just tighten those reins a little bit more. I think that's what we're looking at. I don't know. What do you think, Joe? You think we're heading nationalized healthcare?
Yeah, for sure, dude. We're getting close. I remember that gentleman that came in here and trained with me for 2 weeks. I told you about that lives in Canada. Yeah. I don't want to. Anyway, he's had a problem with his wrist that he injured. He said it would be a year before he could get in. So he actually went to Seattle to see a doctor, and he's a wealthy guy. So money wasn't an object for him, but he says the system is so broke there in Canada. He goes that I couldn't get in to see the right doctor for a year. But I do want to plug something. And guys, I don't own this company, but I just want to show you something that I take. I had my blood work done not long ago, did a full spectrum. And I knew I had high cholesterol. It runs in my family. So this doctor prescribed me this stuff, a prescription. And 2 days after I took it, I was literally sitting on the couch, just like a zombie. It was weird. I'm like, what is wrong with me? So I called a friend of mine who had heart surgery and has high cholesterol. I said, hey, Chris, have you ever heard of this medicine? And I read it off to him. He was like, oh, dude, throw that shit in the garbage can. He goes, my doctor said that stuff's awful. And I asked him what it did to him. And that's exactly what he did. It told me is what it did to him. I said, well, what are you taking? He's like, man, go on Amazon and buy this stuff. I don't know if anybody out there has high cholesterol, but I've been taking this. I take 2 pills a day, and my cholesterol has come down. And it's just off the shelf. This is called cholesterol. There's no side effects. I mean, they're big old horse pills. I'll tell you, though, if you're not into taking pills, these things are pretty big. But anyway, for those of you that may have high cholesterol, this is what I'm taking right now. And that prescription shit I threw in the toilet. It was awful. It affected me in a bad way. Bad way.
Well, and correct me if I'm wrong. Was it, let's see, is it blood pressure that they use statins, or is it for the cholesterol? I know it's horrible for you either way, the prescription stuff.
Oh, dude. Yeah.
I started using fish oil, and the diet is a huge thing, part of it too.
Yeah.
I was actually watching a guy, he was talking about cholesterol in the blood. And, of course, your good cholesterol, your bad cholesterol, LDL, HDL, all the medical terms that go along with this. But it was a great way that this guy explained this. Yeah, red yeast rice, Pete Robertucci. That's another good one. I use red yeast rice.
Yes,
I use a very good, I use a very good fish oil. But he was talking about cholesterol in the blood elevated when you start going more of a carnivore diet. When you go carnivore, it actually, it doesn't add to the cholesterol because the body starts burning fat for energy instead of carbohydrates for energy. And so it starts pulling all the cholesterol, that excessive cholesterol, out of the blood. So I've started, I'm not 100% carnivore, but I will say that I'm right there on the borderline. I've not been eating any bread, processed sugar, stuff like that, and my cholesterol has been getting better, along with my blood pressure and stuff like that as well. But no, what you're using, that's good stuff. And the red rice, red yeast rice is a good one as well. I'm on that.
Yep.
Yeah, statins, the statins, and the bad part is once you start using that, at a certain point, there's no getting off of it. Then your body literally shuts down all the parts, the organs that help regulate that, and then you're hooked on it for life. And the next thing you know, of course, then you have to take another pill to offset the ill side effect of that pill, and then another pill, and then it just keeps going on and on and on, which is exactly how they set it up, for us to get addicted to a bunch of drugs. So let's see here. They're now saying, let's see what else we've got here. They're now saying diabetic pills, metformin was a major contributor to my kidney damage. I believe it.
Wow.
I believe it. It's all poison. Pharmakia, guys, look it up in the Hebrew and Greek. Pharmakia, it is what the elitists did. They come in, the pharmaceutical industry, they shut down all of the herbalists in the turn of the century. They shut them down. They made chemical compound derivatives, fake garbage, and shut everybody down, made them look like nutcases, and so that they could pump prescription drugs. And now, once you get on some of these drugs, there's no going back. Your body will quit producing the natural things that keep cholesterol regulated and blood pressure, all that. It just sends you over the edge, and then you're hooked on tons more pills, handfuls of pills. So with as bad as the world is, guys, if any of this stuff, you can start. I know dieting sucks. Let's be honest here. I mean, I'm not a fan. I love potato chips. I loved ice cream, all this stuff. But at the same time, I had to step back here and I'm like, if you don't have health, what happens when the bubble pops, right? If you're hooked on all these drugs, guys, if you have to use all these, I get it. Some people can't come off of it, but if there is a way to use natural remedies and diet and health to get rid of these things, we are at best, we're going towards nationalized health care to where this stuff may not be readily available because nationalized healthcare is already proved it's set up to kill you. It's set up to kill the populace off. That's what it's set up for.
I didn't realize how bad it was in Canada because you don't really hear about it. And then, I trained with that guy. He came down here and he was telling me, we'd sit around and talk at night about their healthcare system. And it was staggering. He gave me example after example. I was like, wow, that don't work. That's not working at all. So, yeah.
And Ray Michaels, I'm going to tell you, man. That's a good one. Got the herb book. Gabapentin, I can tell you for a fact, is a horrible drug that your body will get dependent upon. And you should steer clear of it.
We were just talking about this. Yes.
Yeah.
That drug you can't even get in some states, like in South Carolina. You can't even get it there. It's been banned from I think 11 or 12 states. We were just talking about this because we have friends of ours that have dementia and stuff, and it's for nerve pain and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And that drug right there, do not take it. Read about it.
Once you get on it. Yes, they got some horrible side effects, and that's just what they know about. That's just what they know about. I will say, let's see, and now Sandra is this. Let's see, 1 lime, 2 carrots, small piece of ginger for cleaning out the system. Is just to get the garbage out of your system from using drugs, or is this for is this for something else?
Detox.
So
detox.
And then Deanna, I get it, Deanna, that stuff. But it is nasty. I know nerve pain. The bad part about nerve pain is that's a different type of pain. It's not something that, and if you have these injuries, it isn't like, a muscle pain. It's inside the nerve. The nervous system is such a complex thing. I have a bum left leg. My left leg, I've got over about $180,000 worth of reconstructive surgery to that. And that was 30 something years ago. So now in today's market, we're shooting at $1 million, with the Biden administration and inflation, all that. So that's probably $1 million worth of leg work in today's market. But I can tell you that the nerve damage that I've got is insane because nerves, I can touch the inside of my leg and I can feel it on the opposite side because it messed up a whole bunch of the nerves. And so the pain is different. And I get it. These people dealing with nerve pain. Amber has a lot of nerve pain and nerve damage from all the back surgeries and being blown up multiple times and stuff like that. But guys, if there's a way to get off that stuff, I'll tell you, the side effects of some of these drugs are just insane. And they want you to die. That's what it comes down to. I know not to get on the soapbox about marijuana, but I'm going to tell you that the edibles, I know a lot of people who use these edibles for nerve pain and stuff like that, and they're having great results. That and wild lettuce. Wild lettuce is another one that I know a lot of people use for nerve pain and stuff like that. That's a tit for tat. Some it works, some it doesn't. But I know the edibles. There's a friend of mine. His wife is she's got MS, and she has had MS for as long as I can remember, for over 25 years at least. And using that is the only thing that gets her to where she can hold her own glass to drink out of, or to hold a fork to eat with. It's so bad that she shakes so bad she can't even feed herself. But she uses that, and she's fine for a few hours. And so, it is a plant. And as far as I'm concerned, if that gets you to a spot that you can be normal a little bit and feed yourself, man, more power to you. I think it's great. That's the purpose of it.
Right. Absolutely. On another note, to go off, I just was looking at one of my notes here. Is I don't know, I haven't verified this, but the director of the Secret Service basically quit. Did anybody hear that?
Yeah, Cheeto. Yeah. Oh, Cheeto.
Yeah.
2 days into her. Yeah.
They crucified her on the Senate committee. Oh my God, they were beating this lady up, and rightly so. And she was just ducking questions, didn't know nothing. But yeah, so that's a win for the good guys. I don't know who they're going to replace her with, but yeah, just that was a good thing.
Well, that was the plan to begin with. Let's see, rotated my left leg 180 degrees. I know that shit hurt. Hot rod on the good night. Yeah, that would good for you though, for being able to self heal with that stuff. That's good stuff. Let's see, 80 years. Let's see. He was saying, I have a friend that's 80 years old, does edibles, and stopped taking pain meds for rheumatoid arthritis. Hey, look, guys, once again, if you can get off the man-made drugs and use something like that, even if it isn't 100% healthy, which I don't see any issues whatsoever, I don't use it. I don't have the pain that I need to use it. But if I did, I'll take that over eating a bunch of man-made prescription drugs in a second if it works. So, but yeah, Cheeto, she, that was the plan to begin with, and it really didn't matter if she resigned or not. Joe, do you think? Because when they questioned her, she didn't answer a single question in 2 days.
Yeah.
You might as well just resign.
It was. I was watching like Matt Getz, and I love some of these guys, man. They are just brutal. Majori Green, she's a freaking rock star, and they just crucified this woman, and rightly so. If you're the director, all things rest on your shoulders. That's why you're the director. And you sit there and talk question after question after question. I don't know. You look incompetent. And, I know that she was a former law enforcement officer, and I think she was like the director of security or something for Coca-Cola or something. But
it was big.
But how much knowledge you have about protection details? Okay, there's security. There's all kind of forms of security, but that is a very specific one. And I'm not, I'm just saying, you got to look at some of these qualifications like that. Her background didn't mesh to that type of security. Granted, she had a law enforcement background. That's great, but you don't do protection details at that level as a cop. And you certainly, so like she would, perfect example of the Peter Principle. Remember me telling you about that? Guys, if you don't know what the Peter Principle is, Google it. Textbook example. She was probably a great cop, and then she got promoted and got into Coke and had a great executive job, and she was a great director of security. And then boom, she got director of Secret Service, and she was outside of her skill set. She didn't have the experience and skills to function at that level. It's called the Peter Principle. Google it. I'm not making it. Textbook example. Textbook. As a matter of fact, I'm going to use that as an example at Wetsy when you come. Matter of fact, there's a perfect example of it because we're going to talk about that.
Drew, as well. Latest report I saw was that the Secret Service didn't use local LEO radios during that event, so they didn't have comms. Whether whoever was the IC didn't follow the federal system for incidents, emergencies. Now, 5.5 years, I was volunteer, and I got my, NIMS compliance, ICC 700, and all this kind of stuff. And after Hurricane Katrina, correct me if I'm wrong, that was the whole point of
Right.
revamping the system because no one was communicating, and that's where we got
Exactly.
this mass chaos
That's
during
right.
that, and that's where we got NIMS compliance. But somehow it did not apply to that rally at all. So we didn't
Clever,
learn
man.
what we were supposed to have been taught during Hurricane Katrina at a rally with one of the most important people there in the states that there is. So I don't know. Well, we're an hour in. Y'all. As usual, it's always good talking and with all of you guys. We'll try to get some more. Let's do a gear show next week, Joe. You good with that? It'll be right after Wetsy too. We can talk about how that went. I'm sure that's going to be awesome, and maybe we'll talk a little bit of gear. Close us out, Joe. What you got, man? Anything?
Oh man, good Lord. Actually, totally off of the beaten subject, but I'm talking about gear. I always talk about being 1% better, right? Don't eat the elephant in one bite. Well, I just got this thing from Temu. It's like $8. I don't know if you can see this thing, but it's basically, it regulates your breathing. So it simulates breathing at altitude. You just stick it in your mouth and you can adjust it. See, I can literally be sitting here watching TV, twiddling my thumbs, and put this thing in my mouth for 20 or 30 minutes, and it's exercising my lungs. Now, I know a lot of you are like, big deal. Well, it is a big deal. If you do 1% here and 1% here and 1% here, I said it the other day to someone, I don't smoke, not a big deal. I don't do drugs, not a big deal. I don't drink, not a big deal. I eat healthy, not a big deal. I go to the gym 5 days a week, not a big deal. I sit in a sauna. After a while, you start to sound like a freaking idiot. Not a big deal. No, it is a big freaking deal. And this is a perfect example of the 1%. You don't have to buy one. I know they're like $8, but I'm going to use this thing while I'm watching TV, and I'm going to exercise my lungs. It makes it hard to breathe, and it's stretching the alveoli and increasing your cardiorespiratory ability. So anyway, there's all kind of little things like this out there, but it's that 1% thing, man. And I'm always
Yep. Does it have a dial on it to adjust restriction, or is it just one restriction setting?
I'll show it to you real quick. It does. So it's just a mouthpiece. Look.
Yep.
And there's a dial right there.
Oh yeah.
It's very simple. It's just a simple little thing, and it definitely restricts your breathing, and you can adjust it. But guys, again, I'm a fanatic about my health. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, I'm all about doing anything and everything to make me 1% better. And there's things out there just like this that it's that 1% advantage. While you're sitting here twiddling your thumbs watching TV, you can literally exercise. Anything. It's $8.
I've got weight bands. Yeah, I've got the weight rubber bands, all the different. Man, you can sit there and use a weight band while you're watching television. Same deal. I will tell you guys too.
It's that D word, discipline.
Yeah. Spending about 7 years in the ring when I was MMA fighting, a mouthpiece when you're training, like maybe you roll at the jiu-jitsu, throw a mouthpiece in and then roll. Because that restriction, man, it whoops you, and it whoops you hard. So so that's something that you can throw in if you got you a heavy bag. I've got a heavy bag here. I've got a speed bag. A lot of times I'll pop the mouthpiece in just to restrict breathing, because that gets your body into that. You're talking fight or flight. You want that restriction. I'll tell you something that I saw in martial arts, and this is going to be my wrap up, is point fighting versus real fighting. You see these point fighting competitions where the guys, they barely touch each other. Oh, that's a point. That's a point. When you have a guy laying there with his elbow thrust down into your solar plexus where you cannot breathe in, that's a game changer. So it's a good way to train by what you're doing there, Joe, with that restriction. Restrict your breathing, laying a heavy bag on you while you're training, all these kind of stuff. Restricting your breathing is a huge benefit to training, especially if it's about a confrontation where you're fighting somebody else, because you're going to probably end up on the ground rolling around. But that's great, guys. Well, once again, we have come to the end of another Mountain Readiness Monday. Joe, as always, brother, I appreciate you. And I'm sure I'll talk to you before the week is out. Looking forward to Wetsy. All you guys and gals out there in YouTube and Facebook land, we appreciate you. We'll see you next Monday, same time. And as always, move with purpose. See you then.